Hello, this is Jerry Garrettson, Tabea Law. Just happy to see everybody today. Let me remind you to go ahead and, if you like this video, like it and click on the notifications, that little bell up there, and subscribe also. And so you can see future interesting law subjects, information about the immigration law. So let me talk about today critical information you need to know about the J-1 waiver. Hello, everybody. I'm Jerry Garrettson, Tabea Law. Happy to see you today. We're going to be talking about the J-1 waiver. Now, why are we talking about a waiver instead of just the J-1? Because the J-1 itself is a pretty straightforward situation, visa, where you don't really need an attorney. Generally, you just you get with a host and an employer or a family, and they kind of take it from there, and you fill out the paperwork and come over on a J-1 visa for a certain amount of time, sometimes just a couple months, sometimes it could be longer, a year or so. It's just a way for folks to come into this country. Now, originally it was set up as a cultural exchange. So people come here and they learn and get benefited by our culture, and we learn from them as a person from wherever country they're from and their culture. And so it's a way for countries to gain and learn from each other and peoples, and it's a good idea. However, there's loopholes where over the years employers have just taken it to hire people, and I guess there's still kind of a cultural exchange going on, but mainly it's companies getting around the H-1B and getting around the H-2B and just getting people here to work. So that's a whole different story. We're not talking about that today. Today we're talking about the waiver. The waiver is oftentimes the J-1 has a 2-year home requirement. In other words, you come here for whatever time you come here, and then you have to go home back to your home country for at least 2 years, and then you can return after that. But the idea behind the 2-year home requirement is we want you to bring back whatever you learned to this country. We sent you to the United States to be culturally enriched, and now when that visa is up, we want you to come home now and share that richness, or share that cultural experience with us, and bless this country, the country that we sent you. And that's the whole idea. So that's why you got the 2-year requirement. Now, somebody comes here, they don't want to go home, they love it here, they want to stay, okay? They want to get married. If they have this 2-year requirement, they can't get married right away. They can't adjust their status. This government will not let them. They'd have to go home first, do their 2-year residency at home, and then come back and get married or whatever. How can I waive the 2-year requirement? So that's a J-1 waiver. Quickly, before I get started, if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe now, and hit that little bell on top, and you'll be notified about future videos. The first thing you need to do with the J-1 waiver is to see if you're even required to go back for 2 years. Not every J-1 is required to go back for 2 years. You don't have that requirement. A lot of them don't. So you have to look at your visa, look at your paperwork, see if you even have that requirement. Here's the 3 items that you're looking at. You're looking at if your program was funded by the government. Okay, then you probably have a 2-year requirement. If it was a private party that funded it, then probably not. If you have specialized skill, here we go. Then you go to the skills list, and there's a whole bunch of different skills they have on there. They have different codes for it, and you find your country, and then see your code, see if your code's on there. If your code's on there, then yeah, you got to go back for 2 years. If your code's not on there, then you're not even under the 2-year waiver. So here's the critical thing to know about the J-1 waiver. Are you on the list? Are you required to go back for 2 years? Oftentimes you're not. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, if you are, there are ways to get around that. These are the ways to waive it. Okay, whether it's the no objection statement, which you get that from your country saying that we don't object for you to waive this 2-year requirement. If you can get a letter from your country saying that, then you're done. You don't have to. You can waive it. There's other other situations, persecution, if you're being persecuted from that country, other things that you can waive it. Let me see, you can request an interested U.S. federal government. That would be detrimental if you had to go back for 2 years and you couldn't be here. Claim exceptional hardship if you have that. You have family here, whatever. If you left, then it'd be extremely hard on them. And there's different ways of doing that. So here's the key takeaway today. Make sure that you even have the 2-year requirement, because you may not. And then you don't have to worry about waivers. You're not required to go back. Okay, I'm going to read my verse for the day. We are in Genesis 2:6. The Bible says, "But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground." Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.